after you've had this big holiday binge, depending on which country you live in. If you live in America, you've had Thanksgiving, and you've had Christmas, and you've had New Year's. Basically, you've had all this time of drinking a lot, eating a lot, basically binging on everything. After your holiday binge, it's time for that very important word, detox. It's time to clean out your system and get yourself back in gear after all of the big holiday stuff. So, first of all, I'm going to talk to you about why do you want to detox. So, what does detox do for your system? For some reason, maybe naturally as humans, we tend to want to detox around January. You probably see, if you're living in London like I am, you see all over the tube and all over places, you see like dry January or like detox for January, or stop drinking January, or sober January, or whatever it is. People stop drinking, they start cleaning out their system, they want to be clean and healthy. And now I'm going to tell you something, because all of us make New Year's resolutions in New Year's, and January is the month that we still fulfill our resolutions. Now here's a brilliant thing about these New Year's resolutions and the detox I'm about to tell you. In order to detox, you really don't need endless months. You can do a detox in about a month. And I'm going to tell you about a detox you can do in the month of January. Because anyway, you're staying dry and you're drinking less and you're eating better and you're taking better care of yourself. And you start this detox and you do this cleanse throughout January. And then what you want to do afterwards is you just want to maintain good eating habits. So this detox takes you through a month of achieving those good habits and kind of moving slowly into those good habits. So what you're going to need for this detox is anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how quickly you're ready to go with it. So 3 steps. The first step is to prepare your body for cleansing. So the first thing you do when you prepare your body for cleansing is there's a process where you slowly eliminate the things that are the worst for you. So the first thing to be eliminated is alcohol. So on the first week, you eliminate alcohol, and you basically eliminate it. If you're somebody that's used to drinking like loads and loads and loads, which is not great, and I don't condone it, but you're going to have to, with alcohol, it's the easiest thing to do with alcohol is really just to cut it out completely. If that's hugely difficult for you, you might have to deal with that first before anything else. You might not be able to move into the detox until you cut that out. So the first thing we do is we cut out the alcohol 100% completely. Because if you can't, it's very hard to do a little bit of alcohol. You really have to go like full with it. So the first week, you just cut out the alcohol. Now, if you're already not drinking too much, or you're like a very mild drinker, like, maybe 1 glass a day, not a big deal, then what you could do is you could cut out alcohol and caffeine at the same time. Now, if you're somebody who's drinking a lot, then you do the first week of just alcohol, because that would be difficult enough for you. So cut out alcohol. In the second week, you work on cutting out your caffeine. So the way that we cut out caffeine is, it's very hard if you're drinking like 15 cups of coffee a day to go to no cups of coffee. I don't even recommend it, because you'll feel awful. So what I recommend clients do is just cut down significantly. So you try to cut down to something that's like workable for you. So on the first week, you cut out just alcohol. On the second week, you keep the alcohol away, and you cut down on your caffeine. So let's say on the second week, you can cut your caffeine by half. So if you're used to drinking 10 cups of coffee, you move down to 5. By the time you get to the third week, you're going to cut that even more in half. So you're drinking 5, you're going to cut down to 2 or 3. Then the next week, you're going to cut it down to more. You're going to cut down to 1. And then you can stay with 1 if you can do that. And then if you can manage it, you can cut out that 1 completely and change it for something else. So if your crutch isn't coffee, if it's something like black tea, and you're drinking like 10 cups of black tea, again, do the same thing with black tea. If it's green tea, the same thing. You should kind of get to a point where you're having 1 cup a day. So through this 4 weeks, you're going to be cutting. So the first week, you cut out alcohol. The second week, you cut your caffeine intake in half. Okay, so that we're just working on caffeine. So now you just got alcohol and caffeine for the second week. On the third week, you're going to cut your caffeine intake further by half, and you're also going to cut out meat. So it's not very easy to cut out meat, but the reason you cut out meat is because meat is highly taxing to the system. It's a lot more difficult for your body to process meat than to process, let's say, vegetables. Okay? Now, as you're cutting, what you're also trying to do is substitute the bad stuff for good stuff. So you cut the alcohol, you want to substitute that for drinking more water. You cut the caffeine, you want to substitute those cups of coffee that you've given up for herbal teas, for example. There are some great detox teas you can have, or basic like chamomile tea will help you relax. You know, even switch stuff for green tea, but you don't want to overwhelm with even green tea. More than 1 cup a day is not a good idea. Or you know, you can take your coffee intake and get a matcha latte instead. Green tea has a lot of antioxidant benefits, so that will help you as well. So you're substituting, but try to substitute for herbal and, you know, fresh mint, lemon, things like that. Put lemon in your water. Basically substitute things like that for healthier options. Then the next week, so you've cut out meat, and if it's really hard to cut meat completely, if you're having, like I said, if you're having meat every single day, substitute some of your meat with vegetables, lentils, other proteins. Put fish in there, you know, use eggs. Or if you're having it every day, cut it down to maybe once a week. So you want to cut. So if it's really difficult to cut out completely, like this is something that you must have because you crave it and it has to be part of your life, then instead cut it down. So then on week number 3, that's already week number 3, you've cut your meat. And you're further cutting your caffeine in half, and you've cut your alcohol completely out. On week number 4, you want to cut out dairy and gluten. So you make this cutting out faster by doing it that way. So again, like I said, if this is something you're having on a regular basis, like you cannot go without a bowl of pasta and a sandwich every single day, you want to do is cut it down significantly so that you'll have, you know, if you must have it way less frequently. So what I mean by way less frequently is obviously everybody has their own situation, and I work with clients, you know, on an individual basis. But if you're having it every day, if you can cut it down to once a week, that's already, you're doing yourself a service. Okay? So that's week number 4. You've cut the dairy and the gluten. Week number 5, you want to cut out the sugar as well. Or if you're able to, you can cut the dairy, gluten, and the sugar out at the same time. Okay? And then by week number 5, when you've cut the sugar, in order to make it quicker and easier, what you want to do is we're going to do a full kind of cleanse. So by this point, when you've cut all that stuff out, what you should have done is you should have added fiber to your diet. So you should have added a lot more vegetables. So you should be having at least 5 servings, that's 5 fistfuls of vegetables, and another 2-3 of fruit. If you can, the healthiest way is to have about 8 of vegetables and about 2-3 of fruit a day. So let's say you're cutting out the sugar. You can substitute your biscuits for dark chocolate. You can substitute your biscuits for grapes. You know, it's cutting out all the stuff that's like the processed food and stuff like that and substituting it for something healthier. So then by the time you get to week 5, you've cut all this stuff down. And then what you want to do then is cut out the last bit. Basically, we use week 5 to cut your caffeine down to 1 cup a day. Continue with cutting everything out. Cut fish products as well. Cut down to basically having vegetables, lentils, things like that, beans, lentils, etc. So that by the time you get to week 6, what you're going to do, and cut out your sugar completely by week 5, what you're going to do at week 6 is you're going to do the cleanse. So like I said, by then your bowels should be working properly. You should be having at least 1 movement a day, if not 2, depending on where you were before. So you should be eliminating your toxins. They have to be coming out of you. You should be going to the bathroom very regularly. You should be drinking 2 liters of water. Your caffeine should be cut down significantly. Everything should be, your system should be cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And fiber should be a big part. 2 is how you do the actual detox fast. So that you've done all this good prep. And now by the time you get to week 6, and like I said, if you can do it faster, you can also do it faster. But this way you're a little bit more accustomed to it. By the time you get to week 6, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be doing 3 days of basically juice and vegetable, fruit and vegetable juices and smoothies and things like that. Okay, you want this to be fresh squeezed, freshly made for you. You don't have to do this by yourself at home if you don't have a juicer or a smoothie maker. You can be going to Joe and the Juice and be having that. Now, a lot of us need to chew, so we're not comfortable with just drinking juices and that's it the whole day because we just feel too hungry. Try to do at least one day of just juice. But if you feel the need to chew and you're just too hungry, it's just too difficult, what you can do is just eat, along with that, one type of vegetable, one type of fruit each day. So let's say one day you do the full juice, you just have juices for 3 meals, or as much as you really need to fill you up. The next day you feel like you're too hungry. So let's say you allow yourself to eat just apples. So you can chew on the apples, you can eat the apples while you're doing this cleanse. Let's say the next day, again, you still want to chew on something. Grab some celery, grab some carrot sticks. So you want to just like keep with the same kind of thing. So let's say you just do celery and carrots. And then when you get to, now you've done 3 days of that. That's enough. Okay? And if that's really hard for you, just do 1 day of it. Do as much as you need. Grab yourself some detox tea, which you can get from pretty much any provider. I really like the Puka detox blend. For drinking like your fruits, vegetables, you're having your detox blend, you want to really cut out everything that possibly makes your liver work hard. So you've cut out the caffeine, you've cut out all that stuff. And now you're just having for 3 days or 1 day, however much you can take. So this is where you have to trust how you feel. If you really are feeling awful, don't keep going with it. Okay? Because you have to listen to your body. It's not everybody can do a detox like this. Like some people need more of a build-up. Some people don't do a great job their first time. My first time detoxing I found really difficult, and it was only my second and third time that I was really able to do it, no problem. And then, so trust yourself, trust how you feel, and if you have any questions, please do schedule a 30-minute call with me on juliakeller.co.uk. You can go there and schedule a call, and I can talk you through the process again. So you have to trust your body and not push yourself too hard. Okay? So do as much as you can. After those 3 days, try to keep with just fruits and vegetables for the rest of the week. So nothing else, just fruits and vegetables. Now, if you're getting cold because it's winter and it's cold, and you don't want to have raw fruits and vegetables, that's totally fine. Fruits and vegetables can be in any way. You can have, you can have steamed fruits and vegetables. You can boil them, but I mean, I recommend if you boil the fruits and vegetables, the vitamins are coming out. So keep the boiled water, the water from the boiled vegetables, and you make a soup out of it. Part number 3. After that, you're reintroducing the foods back. So you've now done 5 or 6 weeks, depending on how fast you're ready to go, anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. And it really depends on how, if you can cut everything out really quickly, you're not a big caffeine drinker, you don't drink a lot of alcohol, you can cut things out, you're a vegan, you're a vegetarian, whatever, you can cut things out quicker, it'll be even easier for you. And then you can do this quicker. Because really what the difficulty is the cutting out process, the preparation is almost more difficult than that week. So as long as everything's working fine with your body, you can keep doing that. If at any point you don't feel well, you need to stop. Okay? Because like I said, again, you need to trust your body. Talk to a nutritionist. Make sure you're doing this, that it works for you. So now the third part is reintroducing. So firstly, you start reintroducing stuff kind of backwards. So you start reintroducing to stuff that like you try to stay away from the processed food, reintroduce maybe more vegetables, like get a gluten-free pasta, paleo pasta, maybe some lentils, beans. Start reintroducing with stuff like that. Keep with the vegetables, many servings a day, and fruits. So start reintroducing slowly. And the second week, you can maybe add, if you're down to 1 cup of green tea a day, have a second cup. But slowly. You want to add things back in slowly. You can reintroduce things like eggs, like fish. Start with that. By the third week, you can reintroduce even more caffeine if that's what you need, but hopefully by now your body's cleansed of it. So why, put all that damage onto your liver again? Keep to the minimal amount of caffeine that you need. And, most people say they can't go without their cup of coffee in the morning. Try to stick with just that cup of coffee in the morning and don't add more. And my main thing for people, a lot of times I have clients who have insomnia, and one of the things that's stopping them from sleeping is they're basically just drinking too much coffee. So cut out, and not only they're drinking too much coffee, but they're drinking it too late in the day. And so it's keeping them awake at night, or they go to bed, no problem, then they wake up really early, and they find they can't sleep, they're too jittery, because that coffee is kicking in again. Because remember, coffee goes through cycles, and it will kick in again after some hours. So try to keep that low, and try not to have any coffee, any caffeine really, after 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. And also try not to eat too late, because eating too late again, makes your system feel sluggish and not so great. The whole thing, once you cleanse your system, you want to keep your system clean. And you will notice when you do this cleanse how much better you start to feel. The energy that comes through you. You'll sleep better, you'll feel better, your skin will look better, you'll look more youthful, you'll be glowing. So this is meant to be a short video, and unfortunately it's already been too long. So I can't tell you too much more than that. Again, go to juliakeller.co.uk. I write articles and newsletters about this all the time. Sign up for my newsletter because I write about this stuff. And you can book a free phone call with me if at any time you're doing this process and you're like, I just don't feel well, I need to talk, I don't know what to do. Book that 30-minute free call. Again, juliakeller.co.uk. You can. And guys, if you like this video, please do pass it on. Give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please do email us at juliakellercoaching@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Bye.